for the candidates for public office are our county commissioners. Terribly patient bunch you are this evening here, but nice to have you nevertheless. The order in which each of our county commissioner candidates will speak has been determined by the luck of the draw, and they are sitting in the order in which they will speak. You have 3½ minutes to make your pitch to the voters here this evening. But one thing that we wish to hear from each of you is there have been numerous questions from the audience on the hot button topic of the day. That, of course, is local government support for the Dominion gas export facility. We would like you to address that issue as part of your 3-minute presentation, meaning you have 3½ minutes as a presentation. Please include the answer in your address. Our first candidate for county commissioner, sitting in chair number 1, is Tom Hejl.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tom Hejl, and my campaign slogan is, I'm putting Tom at the top for county commissioner. My question would be, why would you put Tom at the top for county commissioner? First and foremost, I have experience. I have experience with budgets. I have experience managing budgets, writing budgets, and compiling budgets. I have managerial and administrative experience, not only in a government setting. I had government experience as an administrator with the state police. I had experience as the assistant sheriff for Calvert County for 10½ years. But I was also the COO of a small security business with contracts throughout Maryland, Virginia, and DC. So I have experience. Why else would you put Tom at the top for county commissioner? Because I'm a reasonable person, I'm a common sense guy, I look at facts, I don't make brash decisions or judgments, I understand the issues. Another reason is that I worked in county government for 15 years prior to retiring from the sheriff's office. During that 15 years, I got to see county government up close and personal. I believe I can make a change. I believe there are things that we need to change. You know, I came to Calvert County 40 years ago. In 1974, I was assigned here as a young trooper. I chose to make Calvert County my home. I love Calvert County. It's where I plan to be until I die. I got married in Calvert County. I married my wife Sheila. We've been married for over 30 years. We raised 2 children in Calvert County, and now both of those children live in Calvert County. We have 4 wonderful grandchildren. They all live in Calvert County. Those 4 grandchildren are or have been educated in Calvert County public schools. Why would I want this job to do anything to jeopardize the quality of life in Calvert County? This is an absolutely wonderful place to live. I want to be a part of it. I've been involved in the community for those 40 years, and I want to continue to be involved in our community for 40 years. Now, having said that, I'm going to talk a little bit about Dominion. For those of you who don't know, during my time with the sheriff's office, we had a contract with Dominion, and we provided services, security services there, and the Calvert County Sheriff's Office still does. I've had an opportunity to interact with the management at Dominion for the years that I was there. Those people are intent on keeping the quality of life in Calvert County the way it is. They have made every effort to maintain the ecology of Calvert County in excellent order, and they will continue to do that. And for those who don't know, today the assessment was released by FERC, and the plan's going to move forward. So obviously I do support that. I ask you all to seriously consider voting for me for county commissioner. I have some materials in the back. that you didn't pick up and review, and I thank you for your time. Good evening.
It reads as follows. The old Calvert Junior and High School property was an issue 4 years ago. Little progress seems to have been made. I'd like to know what specifically you would do as a county commissioner to accelerate this project, whatever it may be.
First off, I believe that property should have a mixed use. We need Prince Frederick, the town center, the master plan, to be the master plan for this county, because Prince Frederick is the heart of the county. You need to have mixed use in there. There was a charrette produced where you had business in addition to housing, in addition to a park, in addition to sidewalks, bicycle areas. These are all things that I would enjoy, and I think that it should become something of that nature. But remember, you have 5 commissioners, and you need 3 of them to agree on how we need to move forward. But that's something that I would look forward to addressing in the future.
Thank you, Tom. Our second candidate for county commissioner, sitting in chair number 2, is Ben Krause.
Hello again, Calvert County. Will you be saying to me again? I have lived in Calvert County again since 2000. In that time, I have been a product of our Calvert County public school system. I have been a product of our programs that we have. I have been an employee for nearly 8 years now of the Department of Natural Resources. I've been involved with helping out with chest tax programs, multiple different parts, from flag ponds. Environmental protection is a major issue of mine, and that's when it comes to the Dominion project especially. We need to hold them to a safe environmental standard. We need to hold them to the letter of the law. We can't let them slide. I'm not trying to scare you with thoughts of the BP incident. Again, this is something completely different, but we need to remember these past examples, and we need to hold them to regulations that exist. Perhaps you could go over those regulations and see if they're enough. Also, we need to make sure property values are not going to be drastically affected. There is a scare that perhaps the noise level might decrease those values. We need to, again, ensure that the Calvert citizen is protected with Dominion. And that leads into career growth. My campaign slogan is to change the conversation. First thing I want to change the conversation about is jobs are wonderful things. Careers are better. Give me careers. Keep your jobs, I want careers. I want things that are going to keep young people here in Calvert County. To buy a house, to have families of their own here. I don't want them going out of state, I don't want them going out of county. There's more than enough things that we can do here to keep them here. One of those things, lower taxes on small businesses. It is a priority. The middle class is the spine of civilization. Without it, civilization, movement, thought collapses. Wealth collapses. Small business owners are the crux of the middle class. We need to protect them. I have made friends with multiple small business owners throughout our county. They all tell me the same story. Too much taxation is hurting them. Some of them talk about wanting to move out of Calvert County. We need to prevent this from happening. I cannot stress this enough. We need to ensure that the budget is prioritized. We need to discuss new ways of looking at it. Zero-based budgeting, for instance. We need to go through the entire plan, the entire scope. We need to prioritize expenditures so that we don't get caught up in pet projects. lobby projects, and focus on those things that will benefit you and Calvert County as a whole. In the time that I have been away from Calvert County in college, I've been vice president of funding for my apartment complex. I have been chairman, president, vice president. I have multiple leadership experience. Experience is a great thing to have, but if you have become set in your ways, if you do not stand for things, thank you. The sign is up. My name is Krause. I expect you to vote for this commission.
Would you support an elected superintendent for the Calvert County school system?
I would support an elected superintendent for the Calvert County school system. The idea being that we need to allow the citizens a say in how those schools are run. Yes, we do vote for these Board of Education members, but I would like to see more input from the citizen, from the individual, and how that process goes about. Many of you may remember the gun incidents that happened where a little boy put his fingers like this and got a suspension. Superintendent, powers that be, didn't exactly stand up for that little boy and his parents. There was another incident happened on a school bus talking about a gun magazine. If you have the power to elect that superintendent, you can be a part of stopping that kind of insanity.
Our sitting in chair 3, our third candidate for county commissioner is Dave Gatton.
I am not part of that 47% that wants to move out of Maryland. I'm the other percentage that wants to stand in Calvert County and in Maryland and fight to make it better. My platform is very, very simple. Number 1, preserve our heritage. I think everybody here would agree that the rural nature of Calvert County must be protected at all costs. Every decision we make as a commissioner must keep that in mind. Any developments, any economic growth, we must keep the rural nature of Calvert County intact. The second is fiscal responsibility. You fund the Calvert County government. Your tax dollars must be honored. You go out here and break your backs to support the Calvert County government. Everything we do, every dollar, every dime, every penny we spend must honor your hard work. 3, efficient government operation. As commissioners, we must lead the charge in finding the technology that will help us to function and save money and keep the Calvert County government going in the best way and in the most appropriate way for our workers to go out and do their jobs. If we just got them going out there with outdated technology, we are not working efficiently. Talking about the LNG plant. I fully support that LNG plant. What I also fully support is a large part of the $55 million that we'll be getting has to go to the fire departments that will be first responders in that area. The people down there are scared to death of an explosion. Whether it happens or not, we need to be prepared to respond to that. Nobody has said anything yet about giving the right training, giving the right money, giving everything they need to Solomon's Fire Department, to St. Leonard's Fire Department. They're going to be our first responders. We need to make sure those people have everything they need to do the job in case something happens. But I don't know how anyone can argue with $55 million dumped into our economy. We desperately need that money. So to argue about it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. The last thing, my cards are back there if you want to pick them up. The last thing I want to talk about is strategic growth, business growth. You notice I didn't say smart growth. I said strategic growth. Whenever you say growth in Calvert County, people panic. Because they see Calvert County becoming Waldorf. They see it becoming Bowie. They see big box stores dotting all over Calvert County. That's not what we need to talk about. Instead of big box growth, let's talk about out of the box growth. We have industrial parks that I know personally people have wanted to put put businesses in, but because of some zoning regulation that's 20 years old, we can't get them in. Their own venture capital. They weren't asking the county for anything, but they couldn't get in there because of a zoning regulation that should be looked at again and changed to allow that to happen. We can't continue to allow entrepreneurs to not do and bring business to Calvert County. That will help our economy. I'm Dave Gatton. I appreciate your vote.
I have a question from the audience. If elected, what would you do to control the budget for the Board of Education? If, I guess, you think it needs control.
You know, a lot of people move to Calvert County because we have the best school system in the state. We have one of the best school systems in the country. More than half of our budget goes to the school board. We need to keep that money going to the school board. Our children are our future. Why would we ever consider controlling or cutting a budget that our children depend on? That doesn't make sense to me at all. If anything, with this $55 million that we're getting, a certain percentage of that should be going towards further funding for the school board. And it's not just about raises for teachers. It's not just about raises for support staff. We need to put more money into our schools so our children have every opportunity to learn and do the things and to progress into college and into better careers that they can bring back to Calvert County and keep them here. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Sitting in chair number 4 is our first incumbent county commissioner running for re-election, Steve Weems.
Thank you, Cal. And thank you to the Central Committee and the 4 organizations that are hosting this event. You know, Ms. Leslie spoke earlier of rounding up orphans as a description of her job. When I first became a commissioner, I had a eclectic customer of my business. I can explain later what the business is if you do not. He asked me, he said, you know, the next time I get arrested, I want you to make sure you remember me and you look after me. And I was like, what? He said, you know, you're a commissioner, right? I said, yes. I said, our primary objective is the appropriation of taxpayer funding. He said, oh, I thought you were the district court commissioner. Sorry. Anyway, as a duly elected official in the capacity of county commissioner, we are charged with the appropriation of taxpayer funding. The BOCC is a body politic whose primary function is that, and on a personal basis, I wish to continue the conservative fiscal policies we have set forth. Our board has managed to structurally balance the budget despite declining property tax revenues. And I need to get this off my chin, Cal.
Not very far.
All right. Despite declining property taxes, we've held the line on our property taxes. We have continued services without disruption to our citizens. We have not furloughed or laid off any employees. And we've all managed to do this in one of the slowest recoveries that my generation has ever experienced in a recession. The position is ripe with adversity. I'm constantly attempting to look for ways to be efficient, effective, and adaptive. Calvert County faces many transitions, both in the present as well as the future. I wish to continue those transitions and looking into them as a lifelong county resident, well-versed in the past, and acutely aware of new initiatives, needed to enhance all aspects of our society. I can sense a general malaise of anger, fear, and anxiety in our culture in general. A component of my position has been gleaned from basic customer service skills, which is listening to those concerns and needs. And since I have 30 seconds, 15 seconds, Ms. Catherine, if the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission grants approval to the Dominion liquefaction project, I want to make certain that the citizens of Lusby are heard, that Dominion holds up to their end of the bargain, and the community as a whole is satisfied to the best of Dominion's ability. Thank you.
Steve, I'd like to revisit a question that I've asked already.
Yes, sir.
And that has to do with the old Calvert High, junior high property. It seems that little progress has been made.
Sir.
We'd like to know specifically what you will do to accelerate this project if re-elected.
And I have 1 minute?
Yes.
1 minute. First of all, the second issue I'd like to address, if elected to a second term, would be the Sustainable Growth and Agricultural Preservation Act of 2012, which has basically put our county into 4 different tiers. Due to the law, the Prince Frederick site is in Tier 1, which is served by sewage and water, and it is basically geared for growth. I believe that we have to do some modifications of our TDR program, first and foremost. And I also would like to see a blending, as Mr. Tom explained, of multi-use housing as well as commercial development. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Steve. Sitting in the number 5 chair is incumbent Evan Slaughenhoupt.
Thank you very much. I'd like to first personally thank Commissioner Susan Shaw, who is in the audience with us. Thank you, Commissioner Shaw. As you know, she's not. My thanks to her for so much of what I learned on my first term. Speaking of my first term, we're just coming to a close in the December timeframe. Back in 2010, I'm not going to run through 4 years of information in 3 minutes. Very easy. So here we go. In 2010, when I visited over 3,200 homes, I listened to what the Calvert citizens said. And they told me, number one, they love this county. They love this county the way it was. They didn't want drastic changes, but they wanted some improvements. Now, 3 minutes will not be enough time to tell you about the improvements we have made, but I'm going to tell you about one improvement that we did make. That improvement we did make, one of the primary responsibilities county commissioners have is the creation and implementation of the county budget. We've heard that mentioned before. This particular year's budget that began getting built by the staff in July last year and will culminate early June this year with ratification of the budget. For the first time, every budget meeting the county staff had with the Board of County Commissioners as they were putting together their recommended budget was televised. Citizens had the opportunity to see the same data that the Board of Commissioners saw and discussed with the county staff. Not only could they have seen that on television, but of course we have a website and that can be viewed over time. Anybody can go and see the level of detail that the Board of Commissioners have when the staff is building their recommended budget. That speaks to an issue of transparency. So this year, as an example, one of the improvements we made as a board was to increase transparency with the budget bill. There's more to do. which is why I'm seeking office for another 4 years, because there are other improvements that I believe going forward. When you see the budget this particular year, expect to see it appear to be a little more readable, a little more easier to understand by the average citizen. Been working hard on that with support of the fellow commissioners. The staff took that approach this past year, so I'm very, very much looking forward to that. With regards to Dominion, we've been meeting with Dominion since maybe early 2011, maybe 2012. We were meeting with them regularly. We understand what their project is. I'm very happy to know that the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, approved the environmental assessment just today. It's a 243-page response to the 21,000 pages that was submitted. Dominion's been a good neighbor. I believe the project will be such that all of Calvert County will benefit. Thank you.
If you're re-elected as a commissioner for Calvert County, what would you pursue as your highest priority issue in governing Calvert County for the next 4 years?
My highest issue may seem like an odd one to you, and that is to ensure that the type of esprit de corps this current board has had would continue. This board of county commissioners that we've had have been professional. They've had disagreements, but even when they disagreed on a topic, the very next topic, it was done, the next topic was professional, we forgot about the other ones. And I got to tell you that what you see on television, for those who view the commissioners' meetings, the same degree of professionalism and respect has been held in the executive sessions and administrative sessions. I would like to make sure that that happens.
Thank you very much. Sitting in chair number 6, Joe Chenelly.
My name is Joe Chenelly. I'm running the 1st District. I'm also currently on the Board of Education. I appreciate many of you who helped me be elected to that position 2 years ago. Since then, I was able to do something somewhat unusual for politicians. I've been able to keep just about all of my campaign promises from that period of time. I brought, and of course, being a board member, 1 to 5, I've helped bring, I want to make that clear, I've helped bring accountability and transparency to our school system. I've helped save a great deal of money over the last 2 years from what were some very deceptive budgeting practices, and we've had to redirect quite a bit of money to make it more efficient, to get that money back into the classrooms. My wife Dawn and I are raising our 5 children here in Calvert County. We live down in Lesby. We're here by choice. My wife was in the Air Force for 9 years. I was in the Marine Corps for 7 years. When we left the military, I got a job in Washington, and we checked around the area here, and we found Calvert County almost by mistake, but mostly because of the schools. But we love the beauty here. We love the water features and the open space, the rural lifestyle, but the mindset of people. But we realize it's not the beauty of Calvert County that makes us the best place to raise a family anywhere in the nation. It's the people. And that's why I'm committed to giving everything I have, to using my abilities to be able to best serve the people here. I was honored in this room last year as the 2013 Republican Man of the Year. It was quite an honor, and I hope to see everybody back here a week from tonight for the Reagan and Lincoln dinner, where I'll be able to present the 2014 award. I just want to make it clear that I'm just an average guy. I'm not indebted to anyone. I'm not protecting any special interests. I don't have an agenda per se. I just want to be able to do what I can. I believe we need a new perspective. I believe we need a fresh look at just about everything our county does. I think we need term limits, not just at the federal level, but at the county level. We already have them with our Board of Education, thankfully, but we need them at our county commissioners level as well. And that would be something I would propose early on. I believe 2 terms or at most 3 terms would be sufficient for a county commissioner. Just to be able to continue to keep fresh perspective. And right now, our economy terribly harmed by federal regulations and by, of course, by Annapolis by the state. But we can do more. We need to do more here at the county level to stop the stagnant economy that we have going on right now. The Marine Corps taught me leadership, and I want to bring the honor and courage that the Marine Corps taught me here. I want to make real clear just a couple things. One, I'm the only veteran running in the 1st District. I'm also, I believe, the only college graduate in the 1st District. But I also have a plethora of experience. I've been all over this country and I've been to 5 different continents. I have that experience. I want to bring that experience here. Thank you.
Joe, I have a question from one that you are infinitely familiar with. Would you support an elected superintendent of schools?
Actually, when I heard that question earlier, I said, I want that question. I believe it's redundant. I don't believe it's the right thing to do. I believe as long as we have 5 elected county Board of Education members, there's no reason to have an elected superintendent. If you're going to change the whole system and heaven forbid go back to appointed school boards, and you need someone that the voters can keep can hold accountable. But I believe that our school board is that entity. I believe that you need those checks and balances. You need 5 people. I would not want one person to be making all of these decisions. Keep in mind, when I was elected to the school board, I was talking about common sense, accountability, transparency. When I got in there, I proved that there was a lot of people telling me I was wrong. I shouldn't look for these things. I should let it go because that's the way it's always happened. And I said that's wrong, and kept pushing through. And if we had one person, there'd be, those checks and balances would not be there. I don't have a monopoly on the brains. We need panels. Things get better done that way.
Thank you very much, Joe. Sitting chair number 7, Mike Hart.
Hi, my name is Mike Hart. I want to thank everybody for having me here. I've been here 37 years, a wife, 2 children, and I've had the luxury of going to the Calvert County school system, which brings me to the biggest reason why I'm running. We have an enormous threat in Calvert County to maintain our lifestyle that we love, and the threat is drugs. It's not the marijuanas of the world, it's the prescription pills, the heroin. My line of work, I have a liquor store. Biggest joke when you run for county commissioner, they say it's a requirement. Maybe. But in that line of work, I get to see a lot of different people. All walks of life. And there have been times you get people that I can't serve. They're breaking the law. They're intoxicated. They're unruly. Not often. But I will walk out there in that parking lot because that's my world. That's where I make my living. That's my hometown. That's where we live. And I tell them, you're going to Prince Frederick. Try me, you're going to Prince Frederick. I'll dial 2,800 and them boys are there lickety split. And they are fantastic at it. They are the best. You can set your watch on it there, right there. I come out with confidence when I say that. What we're not doing now to keep ourselves safe is giving the Sheriff's Department the tools it needs. 7 drug officers for 90,000 people does not get it done. First question, well, Mike, how are you going to pay for it? Talk about how are you going to pay for it? We're going to diversify this income, or excuse me, our economy. No one would ever ride your economy based on just property taxes or energy. It is too dangerous. We see foreclosures all the time, no plan. We have to work these foreclosures, and we can do them positively. We can make them the affordable housing, working with the real estate companies, working with our taxes, taking a young teacher, a young officer, young folk right out of college, and making it an affordable project for them. You want to touch on Dominion, there's a lot of things to touch on in 3.5 minutes. I'll give you my Dominion piece. I live in District 1. I can walk right across my street, probably about to where that sign is, and I can touch the fence to Dominion. A lot of folks say it's the best thing in the world. My goodness, how can anybody be afraid? Well, a gentleman said tonight, he said it perfect. There's a not in my backyard type mentality. If you lived in District 3, 2, it's a little different for you. You know, I always make the joke. I said, you know, when I bought my home, this is not a house, this is my home where I raised my kids. I had a house, it was a starter house. You say, hey, I'm going to sit on the front porch and look at the water, that's a drain. Well, we didn't get that piece. Now maybe we're going to look at a mountain scene. We didn't get. We're going to look at a $3.4 billion liquid natural gas plant. Now, you know, I'm not scared at all. But I think down in my district where some of the fears are, they want an independent person that's going to say, hey, this water's okay, this air quality's okay, this soil's okay. And I think you would owe that to any district, whether it was located in 3, 2, or 1. It's going to be a good thing for the county as long as it's regulated right, as long as it's watched. The difference I would have made early on with this is going back to, I've been a businessman for 12 years. I don't eat if I don't produce. I don't wait on Annapolis to help me because it ain't help coming. Got 9% sales tax. Every time you bring me that credit card and I swipe it, I used to pay on, if you brought $100 up to the counter, I used to charge, I was $106. I paid a swiping fee on $106. Now it's on $109. So I don't wait on the state or the federal government. We're going to diversify this income so we don't need them, so that we're not sitting here going, please give us a 4th reactor or another Dominion or what have you. We're going to stand on our own and not depend on them. Thank you very much.
Mike, a different shot at the same question.
Yes, sir.
Give us a businessman's perspective on the Calvert Junior High School vacant site.
Yes, sir. Time is money. Businesses don't say, well, I'll wait 6 months, I'll wait 8 months. No, 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 no. In this economy, you get somebody ready to come to the plate, you work with them, you go after them. But the difference is, it's a Calvert first mentality. We don't have that. Contractor can come in here from Charles County, PG County, BS. It's us first. It's our people first. So when I talk about that project, economic development, planning and zoning. You get it together, you work as one unit. If we don't have the qualified units, we outsource it. But that property cannot sit there not making us money, same as several other projects. It's a great master plan. We just need to finish the plan.
Thank you very much. Sitting in chair number 8, incumbent Pat Nutter, running for re-election.
Thank you, Ken. I'm just happy people stay. And listen, let me get this done real quick. I think I was here just before 30. I was here when it was 15,000 people, 25,000 people, 35,000 residents, 45. Now we're at 92, which is think folks another 8 and we get the rate tax. So you can be happy about that. But listen, let me try to answer every question that you asked on here. I spent 35 years with the Sheriff's Department, and I spent a number of years with planning and zoning, and I served on every committee in this government that I can think of. And here's the real thing. I stood here several years ago, ready to go. Now, remember, I was outside looking in, just like many of these folks here. And I was going to get everything done, and I jumped in and I said, oh, doesn't look the same. You know, I thought I could do this. I said, wait a minute. There's something wrong over here. We're going to fix this. They said, how? I said, we're going to change this. They said, you can't. What do you mean I can't? Well, there's a federal law against that. There's a state law. And guess what? There's a county law. I said, well, we can change the county law. I said, yeah. But when you do that, you're going to break this. I said, what? You fix that, you break this. I said, well, you got to be kidding. If you ever watch meetings, you'll hear me say, government is just too slow. Now, in private, I say a little bit more to it when I say it. There's a reason why we just didn't jump in Calvert Road School. If you go back to my table, you're going to see a map of the county. Picture that map with one main road, Route 4, that goes through. You have to be careful about failing intersections. What you put there, we've looked at every angle, and we want to make sure that it's proper. You go through Press Circle on Friday night, or Dunkirk last night. Traffic was backed way beyond the ballpark. Just way beyond. You have to be careful. And I know I say government's slow, and now I know why. Let me talk back to me real quick, because you want to ask about that. I take that very seriously. I'm in support of it, of course. My daughter and all my family, 95% of my family, live south St. Leonard through Lusby. My daughter is my treasurer. She has a lot of questions about this. So I have to answer those questions. We don't just take anybody's opinion. We're not going to ask an opinion. What's your opinion, as it say? We get an independent opinion. And not only that, we look at everything that someone says may occur. Even though they sometimes is duplicated, and they tell us over and over and over. We look at everything. I've got 15 seconds. Again, I appreciate your support. I'm here again, even though I have to look at myself and say, you're crazy. Thank you.
If re-elected as a county commissioner, what would be your highest priority issue going into your second term?
I can tell you. You know, you might say it's a bridge, you can say it's the roads, you can say it's a lot of things. But even though we work on the budget 5 years ahead, our top priority is the budget. And by the way, we overfund the school every year. We give them more money than what we have to maintain our education. That's why the budget is the top priority. And let me talk real quick about economic development. You know we have about 4,000 businesses in the state. Did you know that? So you have to be careful what you do. About 70% of this county is critical area, cliffs and everything else. So we have to be very careful. I think that answers it.
Thank you very much, Pat. Sitting in our ninth chair, Linda Kelley.
Fine looking group of gentlemen we got here. Isn't it? Thank you to the Central Committee for the opportunity tonight. Really appreciate that. Let me just jump right in here. My very favorite quote is from Thomas Paine: "Public money must be spent with the utmost conscientiousness of honor, because it not comes only from the rich, but from all." It's paraphrased a little bit, but that's what I believe. That's the highest calling of a county commissioner, is that public trust to do the right thing with your money and to be very careful with your money. I served as your county commissioner for 16 years, from 1994 to 2010. And during the last 3 years that I've been out of office, I have not been idle. I currently serve as the chair of Safe Harbor, a nonprofit that supports the Safe Harbor Shelter for abused women and their children. I am the ambassador to Scouting, and as such attend all the Eagle Scout ceremonies, as well as Girl Scout Gold ceremonies, because when our kids, and we have great kids in this county, make no mistake about it, when they reach that level of achievement, they need that recognition, and that's the right thing to do. I also sit on the Tri-County Animal Shelter Board, the advisory committee. So I've been busy, I've stayed busy, and that's all good. So somebody says, well, why would you want to do that again? Why would you want to get in that business again? And it's because I'm selfish. I'm selfish because it's a great job, and I loved it. Now, what makes it a great job? Makes it a great job because that always gave me the opportunity. Calvert County has wonderful, wonderful people. They're caring and they're compassionate. Gives me the opportunity to meet so many of those people I would never have the opportunity to meet. It's also a good job because when you can use that job to help someone meet some challenge or to go over a bump in the road, then it's all worth it. I came to the job with an extensive background in community involvement before I ran for office. I was the president of Dunkirk Citizens Association for 8 years, and the Citizen Advisory Committee, the Ethics Commission, Commission for Women, and the Shelter Task Force. I was busy during those 16 years, and lots of projects which I am proud. So I am today running on my record. Everybody says, gee, Calvert County is a great place to live. We got a good school system, what a fine place. Let me tell you what, that was not by accident. It was by design. It's because of the regulations that were put in place to control residential growth, so our schools were not overcrowded and we were actually educating the kids in the schoolhouse. Control growth, dog parks, on watch, World War II Memorial, ballparks, animal sanctuary, revised animal control, humane treatment, all those things. We built 9 new schools, libraries, swimming pools, parks, senior housing projects, and the list goes on. It was never a public hearing unless somebody said, don't let us be Waldorf. Well, you know what? We're not Waldorf. And I have to think that says, stop looking at me in the eye here, so I'm going to have to stop.
But I have a question for you, ma'am.
Do I get a Dominion minute?
You have had your time, but I will ask you,
Okay.
what is your opinion of Dominion?
Funny you should ask that.
Thank you for making it easy for me.
I think that is a wonderful opportunity for the county. It's going to be inconvenient, certainly during the construction period, for the folks that live in that area. But the bottom line is that I believe that it's a wonderful opportunity for Calvert County, and I have every faith in that organization that they're going to make the improvements that they say. But as county commissioner, you need to stay on to make sure that happens.
Thank you very much. And sweeping up as the evening is over, sitting in chair number 10, and he drew that number all by himself, folks, is current County Commissioner Jerry Clark running for re-election.
Thank you very much. I don't know if I was lucky or not in number 10. Being down there, I was trying to keep Linda awake, and she kept kicking me whenever I went her. Anyway, my name is Jerry Clark. I'm the commissioner for the 1st District of Calvert County. And fortunately or unfortunately, I've been the county commissioner in the 1st District for 12 years. Some folks say that's not good. Some people say it's real good. Because unfortunately, I got how county government works. I want you to know that I have served as president of the board, vice president of the board of county commissioners. I've served as chairman of the Tri-County Council of Southern Maryland. I've served on the board of Asbury Solomon. And I've served as president, vice president, and treasurer of the Solomon Business Association over my years. Also have the pleasure right now to serve as the only reasonable member of the Maryland Critical Area Commission. Now, actually, there's some very reasonable people on that board, and it's been a lot of fun working with it. This forum tonight brings back a lot of memories from past 3 elections. The sad part for me is Susan wasn't up here with us. Linda came back, so that put a little life back into it. But Susan, we're going to miss you on the board, and the people of Calvert County will learn very quickly how badly you will be missed. And we thank you. I like to think that one of my specialties has to do with the budget of Calvert County. I know the budget of Calvert County extremely well, backwards, forwards. And Evan's right about one thing. We did do a few more sessions out in public. The one we didn't do were ones that had to do with the sheriff, because we didn't want him getting mad and yelling and screaming when we told him no. But the sheriff does a great job with the people he has. Crime in Calvert County is down, I think he said 20% one time when I heard. And that's tremendous. We fund them immensely. As much as we possibly can without having to do anything to raise any of your taxes or cut any of your services. We fund our schools at a higher maintenance of effort over the last 12 years of any county in the state of Maryland. We pay our teachers the highest salaries of any county in the state of Maryland. It's averaged somewhere around $75,000 right now. And one of the saddest things over the 12 years that I've been a county commissioner has been, especially the last 5 or 6, that we haven't been able to give our staff and the sheriff's deputies and the school systems some of the steps and raises that they truly were entitled to. But they're hard decisions to make. And you have to have leaders up here that have the wherewithal to be able to say no, to protect the welfare and the strength of the budget system in Calvert County. Calvert County's budget system and our rating is AAA with all our rating agencies except for one, and with the one, we're one click away, it should be AAA within the next 12 months. On Dominion, everybody here knows I support the Dominion project 100%. I'm standing in the middle of Route 4 with the tractor trailer coming at me because I get beat on every day. The folks that are against it have no problems coming to see me and letting me know their objections to it. But I still support it 100%.
Thank you very much. One quick question to Andy. Should you be reelected for another term, sir, what is your top priority for this county?
Well, the top priority for me, and it'll always be, and one thing that's very important to everyone, is because everything in Calvert County and county government grows off of revenues and budgets. We have to continue to have very conservative budgets for the next few years, and we need to continue to work very, very carefully. There's no I's in the word county commissioner. County commissioners is a we board. You have to be able to work with other people. You have to be able to build consensus. Having said that, everybody seems pretty concerned about what's going to happen with the money from Dominion. Well, let me tell you something, folks. The first lump of money from Dominion, when and if it's done, and when it's done, comes into the county budget in January of 2017 budget year. That is the last budget year of the next board that will be in place. Okay, so it will be a board further out that starts to realize the 40 million and the 40 million plus. People will say 55, but remember, 15 million of that is money that we're currently getting, so it is not new revenue. And I could go on that subject all night long, but she said stop, it's getting late, and I'm the last one. So
Thank you, Gary. On behalf of all the candidates, thank you all very much for coming. And don't leave yet because I'm not finished. We have a 50-50 draw. That'll keep you in place. And on behalf of the folks in the audience, candidates, we thank you very much for your commitment to public service and your commitment to give up yourself. And remember one thing, we wish you Godspeed, candidates. We wish you smooth sailing. And remember the age-old saying that luck always favors the well-prepared. Good night. Thank you for coming.